Welcome back to another episode of We Don't Know What to Watch. And I am the most tired man in the podcast at the moment. And with me, as always, is the incredible, the adorable, the Steppenwolf to my Aquaman, Kyle Mulford. And I'm Noah Saturn. And I can't believe I sat through this movie. And we're here for one of our giant size specials, which we haven't done in a while.
The apocalypse is coming.
So you're saying the apocalypse is right now?
The apocalypse is here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, we watched the. Hey, it's two white nerds talking on a podcast about Justice League Snyder Cut. Yeah.
Boy, howdy, the internet needs more of that.
I can't help that I'm a white nerd and I like talking about nerdy stuff. So I guess people just have to get over it.
Yep.
We'll be different though, because we'll have this one out probably like 2-3 weeks after everyone else has already talked about it. Justice League, or Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yep. And should I run down the basic history of the film? So Zack Snyder originally had to have been made in 2017. He originally had to step away from the film due to a family tragedy, and the studio offered to push back the release date for him. But then he said, no, I don't want all these other people who put in tons of work to go to waste, so don't delay the film. It's okay if someone else finishes it. So then the movie came out, and it was a dud. So then the fans of Zack Snyder started this stupid internet campaign, which involved a lot of toxicity and harassment and not a lot of great stuff, called, because they thought there must be this better mythical version of the film called the Snyder Cut. And this campaign went on for like 4 years at this point, to the point where they even rented a billboard outside of San Diego Comic-Con that just says release the Snyder Cut. But that Snyder Cut version that they wanted, I guess, didn't exist, because what we got was where they gave Zack Snyder $70 million to try and restore his film with some reshoots and other post-production work to restore a version that was close to what he originally wanted, so it could be released as exclusive content to get more people to sign up for HBO Max.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yes, thank you, Paul.
I gather from your tone of voice that you did not like this cut.
Well, regardless of what I think of it, what I extremely dislike is all the toxic and how it kind of feels like this film is rewarding the worst of fandom.
Yes, I think that's the worst that came out of it, because I think that lovers hate Zack Snyder or indifferent or whatever you want. He has his style, and some people like it. Like, I like some of his movies. I think Man of Steel is a great movie. I don't think it's just a good movie. I think it's a great movie. I love Man of Steel. I think it's a good Superman movie. Justice League, I think it's, first of all, tragic that he had that family tragedy, first and foremost. But it's also tragic that the Marvel Universe is doing so good and all their movies are consistently at least good. DC just has this terrible track record because nobody knows what to do with these characters, even though they've got great characters and a longer history than Marvel. It doesn't make any sense to me that they can't find someone who can put these on screen. So
yeah, they don't kind of have that Kevin Feige linchpin.
Yeah, and I agree that I'm not 100% on board with, even though I love Man of Steel, I kind of wish after Man of Steel, Superman would have got a little more peppy. I think it worked in Man of Steel because I think he should have been questioning what was going on. He should have had these doubts. He should have been figuring it out. He shouldn't have just been the big blue Boy Scout just right off the bat. He needed to figure himself out. I think after that, we should have had more of the big blue Boy Scout. So I do agree that Snyder kept Superman a little too dour in the following films, but love it or hate it, I think Justice League, got kind of crapped on by bringing Joss Whedon in. And I've always been a Joss Whedon fan, although now hearing all the
Not
stories.
anymore, but
Yeah, now hearing all the stories, I'm not a fan of him personally, but I've always been a fan of his work. And I love Buffy and Angel. I love Firefly. And, he did great on The Avengers. But his additions to Justice League, when that movie came out, I knew it was a bad movie. And I gave it too much of a pass because I was just excited to see a live action Justice League. So I gave it too many passes, but I was like, this is what I've got. So I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is because this is all I've got right now. This is the best I've got. And then I watched this one. And I was like, maybe it's not a perfect movie, but boy, I wish this was released instead of the original one. As much as I hate all the toxicity, I'm glad we got this cut because I liked this a lot better. It was more coherent. It gave a little more character development to, people. I loved Cyborg got in there more with his dad, with Miles Dyson, or Joe Morton.
yeah.
I think Steppenwolf made more sense. There are things that didn't work, but overall, a much better movie. And when I got done watching this, despite some of the flaws, when I watched the original theatrical cut, I was like, okay, that's what we've got. It was enjoyable because I saw those characters on screen all together. Okay. This one I watched and I went, boy, I wish we could get sequels to this. I actually want to see more of this.
No, I do not. I did not watch the original, the theatrical cut, and I'm not going to because I got burned out after Batman v Superman. I was like, no, I'm done with this. I can't take it. But then I did like other films. Like, I like Wonder Woman. I still haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984. I really liked Aquaman because it was fun and didn't take itself very seriously. I really liked Shazam. That one was an absolute blast. Birds of Prey was amazing. So just, and those movies know how to shoot stuff that's actually in color. One of my biggest problems with this film and with Batman v Superman and with going back to Man of Steel with Zack Snyder's style is the fact that everything is dull and gray. The man must hate color or must be colorblind or something. Just come on, it's Superman with the red and blue. He should be bright and colorful and just I don't like it when Superman kills people. I don't like it when Superman is pretending to be a bad guy. I guess I thought Man of Steel was a pretty solid film, and then afterwards I saw the Richard Donner Superman the movie, and for me personally, Superman the movie just blew Man of Steel right out of the water.
Oh, I will not contend that. Like, I think Man of Steel was a different take on it. And I think that just like other comic book characters have different takes, like have different takes of these characters. And will I say that this is the best DC movie? Like, even in the DCEU? No, because I agree with you. Aquaman was a lot of fun. Not the not the greatest storyline, but like it was a lot of fun, a lot of color, a lot of action, and all that stuff. And like
It
you
had
said, didn't
crabs shooting lasers.
yeah, like you said, didn't
It
take
embraced the silliness.
didn't take itself too seriously. My favorite DCEU movie is actually Shazam. Uh, I think that one had a lot of heart, had a good message about foster homes, and it had a lot of humor in there. I love Birds of Prey as well, and the first Wonder Woman was a great movie. I will say Wonder Woman 84 was a little bit of a letdown from the first movie. But yeah, I agree with all that. But do I wish we had a better Justice League movie? Yes, most definitely. I want to see a live act. Before I pass away, I want someone to do Justice League right. I I mean, they did the Avengers right, so that means it can be done. Because a lot of Marvel characters are just Stan Lee going, "That's a cool DC character. I'm going to turn that into a Marvel character."
Hmm.
So you can make a good Justice League movie.
Or he just says a description, then Jack Kirby does all the work.
Yeah, yeah. And he takes all the credit.
And then Jack Kirby just also makes up stuff wholesale.
Yeah. And I mean, and we got Darkseid in there and Steppenwolf, and you're getting into Jack Kirby there too with the new gods that he created. And it's such a rich tapestry to pull from. And yeah, I do agree that Snyder is a little dark and dour, and that's his biggest downfall, is that he doesn't know how to put any lightness into his movies. Everybody's got to be dour.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, do I want a better version of this from someone else? Yes, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like this movie overall. I think it's cut into a bunch of parts, you know. I think the first 2 hours could have been cut down because of his other downfall. Every single scene has to be slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
And every single scene has to have a new sad song during a slow motion. Did I need Lois
the math,
Lane?
about 10% of the movie was in slow motion.
What's that?
Someone did the math, and they calculated about 10% of the movie was in slow motion.
Really? Was it only 10%?
Yeah, it felt longer because it was
It
slow.
felt like the first 2 hours was slow motion. And because I was like, do I need slow motion Lois Lane walking through the rain with a sad song? No, I don't. Do I need a slow motion hot dog slapping Ira West in the face? No, I don't.
Yeah, yes, because that fits Barry's scene.
Although I do like what's his face as Barry.
Ezra Miller.
I think seeing him in interviews, I think he's kind of a douche, but like in real life, but like I like him as the Flash.
Yeah, he was a great performance because he just seems like the guy who's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
He's
and
just he's just happy to have friends.
and that's actually one character that like it's like, whoa, Zack Snyder, you put some humor in there with the Flash. I was like, at least the Flash is humorous. That's
Mm-hmm.
But and you know, Aquaman plays a little bit too. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's still having fun. But yeah, like I don't need slow motion everything and a new sad song. Like it's almost like it's okay. This song's done. Let's go to someone else's scene and start a new song and go slow motion. So it didn't flow the greatest the first 2 hours. The second 2 hours after Superman is resurrected, I thought that me and my wife split it into 2 nights, and we watched the first 2 hours the first night and the second 2 hours the second night. And the second night flowed a lot better and went quicker and
Mm-hmm.
a lot more action and all that stuff. So yeah, it has a couple other things like Darkseid. One major thing for me was Darkseid forgetting that he was on Earth, where he found, like, you would think if he found the anti-life equation, even if he got pushed off of that planet by all the heroes, which he was, you would think he would make note of which planet he was on when he ran away.
Also, don't tease me with that cool Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah.
Those fun Green Lantern cameos. Come on, just
I know, I wanted more, right? I wanted that
give
ring
it.
to actually, I wanted to show where it went.
Yeah, come on, give us Jon Stewart.
Although that was a scene in the past, so I wouldn't have gone to Jon Stewart, but
I know, but point is, don't tease me with the Green Lantern. He deserves to be a member of the team. You
yeah,
don't even really have to explain him much. He's space cop.
he's Space Cop.
That's
Can we have a movie? Can we have a movie called Green Lantern Space Cop?
I hope so.
Yeah, I liked all the stuff with. I know it's more dour stuff, but I liked the stuff with Cyborg and his father through the whole movie.
Yep, I like Cyborg. I mean, I guess my favorite version of Cyborg was the one I watched in the mid 2000s or like even early 2000s Teen Titans cartoon,
Yeah,
where he was like the video game playing, booyah playing, burger eating kind of goofy cyborg who still had some depth. Well, this
yeah,
one definitely, I guess, much more serious, still traumatized by his big accident, but I thought that he looked great. The effects on Cyborg were great, and I thought Ray Fisher gave a great performance. And as he was able to sort of slowly lighten up throughout the film, and I really felt like he swung for the fences. Like he definitely wants to play this character more. He was enjoying himself, and hacking into the internet was kind of cool.
I
Kind of.
am the internet.
We still don't have. There's still no really good visual shorthand for the internet or for hacking.
Yeah, I don't think there ever will be. I mean, what do you do with that?
Someone might figure it out, but yeah, at least with like texting, the easy way to figure it out was just to have like easy font on a screen when someone's looking at their phone. Then you can just have the text show up on the screen and then be sent off.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think Ray Fisher did a really great job. I'm also watching Doom Patrol on HBO Max, and I think for me, the actor who plays Cyborg in that is kind of the weakest link of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's more just his acting. Like I'm just not a fan of his acting in that one. So I thought Ray Fisher, yeah, like really brought it in this movie. There were certain things that probably could have been left out, but I wonder if like the Flash saving West in that car accident. Did we need that? No, it probably could have been cut from the movie, but if he's going for what he wanted for his overall vision, he probably had plans with that in future
Mm-hmm.
movies. So why not put it in there?
And also, it did feel like a good character introduction. This is him. This is his powers, and then the hot dog thing shows that he's a goofball.
Yeah. Yeah, sticking the hot dog in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was good. And I liked the scene with his dad. I think his dad is going to be replaced by Ron Livingston in the Flash
Mm-hmm.
movie now, but is what I've heard. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with these movies now because Ezra Miller is still playing the Flash, and now I've heard that Ben Affleck is going to come back as Batman as well as Michael Keaton in the Flash movie because they're doing the whole Flashpoint thing. I'm going, so they're getting Ben Affleck back now after he left. so I don't know what they're doing with this. It's such a mess, but like I think that this movie had scenes that probably could have been cut, but I kind of played them off as, well, that's something that would have just been setting up something in the future
Mm-hmm.
that we're just not going to get later. Because how many Marvel movies do we get where there's stuff that's completely unnecessary, but it's setting something up for future Marvel movies?
Yeah, and then also Marvel is they've been smart enough to be able to drop some stuff and just like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't go anywhere, but that's fine. And they don't necessarily feel like they need to have tons of connective tissue because they know your brain will fill that in.
Yeah. And what other characters? Yeah. And, and then the Atlanteans, their new speaking that they didn't show in Aquaman, where they're like talking like whales, like squeaking at each other. It's like, we can do without that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of cool because you kind of have to have something because they're underwater, and other than when Mira can manipulate the water to like let them talk under there, they got to have some sort of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting choice. There are certain scenes like the when Bruce Wayne goes to find Aquaman and they're in that little village or whatever, and Aquaman leaves, and all of a sudden we pan over and there's these Scandinavians just sitting there like singing. I was like, what is this and why are we watching it?
Mm-hmm.
But that was one where I'm like, I don't think that helped the movie at all. What did you think of the Martian Manhunter thing?
Seemed unnecessary.
Yeah, that seems superfluous. Like what was that scene that like he's pretending to be Martha just to get Lois out of there, and then at the end he shows up and says, "I'm Martian Manhunter." Why couldn't he have just showed up at the end without that scene? Like I agree that was another scene that was like, even if you're setting up, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it could have. He could have just like shown up part way through as like, and who's this guy? And then they could have said, I don't know, but he's on our side. So then,
Oh, I
because
think that
all he would have needed to say is like, "Hi, my name is. You can call me Martian Manhunter. Dark side screwed up my planet."
yeah. And I don't even think he needed to be in the movie even helping out. I think that like that would have been a good like teaser at the end, which is what it was he came to Bruce Wayne and said, "Hey, I'm Martian Manhunter." And I was like, that's all we needed. We didn't need that Martha Kent scene.
hmm
What did you think of, well, you didn't see the theatrical. You said you never seen it.
I didn't watch it. I probably won't ever watch it.
Oh, okay. So we can't really discuss with you the changes that they made in this. But there were some few changes here and there. But what did you think of? Did you realize why Superman finally like snapped out of it?
Because he liked Lois.
Well, you're supposed to like this is what Zack Snyder said afterwards, and I did notice the pregnancy kit, but it's because he realized he was going to be a father.
Mm-hmm.
Was the reason he snapped out of it.
But then, didn't I hear something where it was actually like Bruce's kid or something because they were having an affair?
No, I haven't seen that. No.
Allegedly, I don't know. I don't care. And also, what is it with this movie and daddy issues? Everyone's got daddy issues. Like, Flash's dad is in prison. Bruce is still unhappy about his parents. Aquaman is still kind of mad at his mom for not being there for his dad. Wonder Woman's fine. And then, and then Flash's dad is in prison. So,
but do you notice that like none of this is this movie's issue? That's DC's issue. Because that's all pulling from the comics.
Yeah, but I just feel like they could have done better. Could have maybe at least rewritten it to make it seem less obvious.
Yeah,
Kids and their daddy issues.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack here. Then there's like 12 epilogues. That was another problem. Was I actually liked the epilogue until they got to that post-apocalyptic wasteland again.
Yeah, they went back to like the nightmare realm or whatever.
And not knowing what he was planning with that originally, I have no clue. Like that, I think that could have been chopped off the very end, and they should have stopped the movie on Superman's S when he pulled the shirt open.
Mm-hmm.
Because that whole thing with the Joker too, I was like, I think Jared Leto did slightly better as the Joker, but he's still not great.
No. Plus, he's just not a great person. So just, eh.
Yeah. I think he's a good actor, but yeah, the stories I heard about him playing the Joker on the Birds of Prey set, not the Birds of Prey set, the Suicide Squad set, was just like, oh, seriously? Icky, dude.
He's just being a dick.
Yeah. I got to get into character by being a dick to other people. No, you don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't understand why he was there. I don't like the nightmare sequence stuff. I didn't like it in Batman v Superman, and I don't like it here. Everything is terrible. That part doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I wish that stuff was cut out because we never got any explanation of what that's all about. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how many movies are we going to go through before you tell us what this is about?
Apparently there was supposed to be 2 more in his original plan.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that would have been 4 movies total because we started seeing the nightmare stuff in Batman v Superman. It's like, I don't think that should have been spread out that much.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. I want them to just completely start over, make an individual movie of all of the different, I don't even care if they're origin stories again, of all of the different Justice League members, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Superman, Batman. Once you make those, then bring in the Doomsday Threat and have some establish in those other movies that there are other heroes out there. Even have them make small cameos and stuff. A Green Lantern movie too. And then have Doomsday be such a threat that they need to bring them all together like they did in the comics, The Death of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Do The Death of Superman, but not in one movie like Zack Snyder did. Do it over a span of like all of these things and a threat coming. Kind of like the Avengers has done with Thanos coming over 15 movies. It took him 15 movies to build up that character. I think they rushed things too much. Is their biggest downfall.
Yeah, but also they killed Superman once, and that's the only that's a trick you can only do once. And since they blew it the first time, it's not going to mean anything the second time. It's like a Dark Phoenix Saga situation all over again.
I know, and that's the problem. Is that Doomsday is like that storyline was in like the mid 90s, early 90s.
I think it was like 93.
Yeah, because I was in high school at the time, and that was such a big deal. I actually have all the individual comics from the whole Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, Reign of the Supermen afterwards. Like, I loved all of that stuff because it brought the whole universe together for the death of like the biggest hero. And it was a big deal. And then this, Snyderverse, it was like, oh, hey, here's here's Superman. He's dead.
Hmm.
It was kind of anticlimactic. So
Also, I never felt like Lois Lane had enough to do in any of these movies.
yeah,
She was just kind of there.
which is too bad because they got Amy Adams, and I love Amy Adams. So yeah, biggest downfall is they didn't establish all these characters in separate movies first, and they just kind of threw them. You can't throw a Justice League movie together without having introduced these characters.
But at the same time, I think you can still walk into the first Avengers movie and understand what's going on because their powers are easy to explain.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, Iron Man, tech stuff. Captain America, super soldier. Hawkeye, bow and arrow guy. Black Widow, she's a super spy. And then Science Monster.
That's true. But like I said, I mean, despite all its flaws, I liked this cut better than the theatrical cut.
And I didn't. Because
Well,
I like good movies.
yeah, go watch the theatrical cut, and then you'll go, "Oh wait, that was much better."
I don't want you to waste 2 more hours on this when I've already spent 4 hours on it.
Was there anything like you liked about this movie?
I liked Flash and I liked Cyborg and I want a good Flash movie and I like Wonder Woman and I like Aquaman and I really didn't like Superman and I really didn't care for Batman. I mean, if it was like Adam West Batman in this situation, it would have been much more interesting.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a mother box. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with this new Flash movie because they're bringing Ezra Miller back, which, like I said, I like him as the Flash. We'll see what is it Muschietti does with it.
Something like that. The best fan pitch I ever heard on YouTube was basically like, he keeps trying to he tries to fix something, travels through time, screws something up, keeps trying to fix it and keeps going wrong in different and amusing ways. So you get to see like a bunch of goofier versions of like the universe and bouncing around the multiverse or whatever. And he keeps and then like what if the person who's trying to help him is like old man Batman, like Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne.
Well, and see, I wonder if that's what's going to happen with like Michael Keaton being like, I want him, I want this Flashpoint thing to be like he tries to fix it, and then all of a sudden, instead of Ben Affleck, now we have old Michael Keaton, and he's like the old like you said, the Batman Beyond Batman, where he's like training Terry McGinnis.
That would be cool. And also, I want it to be a lighthearted, goofy, almost funny in like a Back to the Future sort of way, where then they can kind of make jokes about mixing up these characters and like even do like some goofy stunt casting, even if it's just for a cameo.
Yeah,
Like
I would like to.
Like they get like Dolly Parton to dress up as the Joker or something ridiculous.
I would like to see happen with DC movies, good or bad. They screwed up the continuity so bad and what they were trying to do with it. They just didn't. It just didn't work. I would like them just to make individual movies, and if they cross actors over, cool. That's awesome. But just make individual stories. Don't try and make them fit in with the rest of the world. Because if you really think about like the timeline of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 and stuff like that, it's like, does this really fit in with the rest of the movies? I don't know if it does.
Continuity, schmontinuity, who cares?
But the first Wonder Woman is just a great standalone movie. And if we get some of those, and then you still have her in current day and she teams up with the Flash, oh, big deal. Yeah. Just make that a standalone movie too. And just make a whole bunch of standalone movies that don't really care about continuity, but like just make them good stories. Because we're far beyond the point of redeeming this, shy of completely restarting over.
Yeah, it'll be like an X-Men movie continuity situation.
I think it's already an X-Men continuity situation.
Yeah, true.
So
At
maybe
least they
one.
had Deadpool where they just decided to. At least by the time they got to like Deadpool, it's like screw it, we'll do it whatever.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they're going to do, bringing Deadpool back again. But since he was part of the Fox universe, and now
Mhm.
it sounds like they're still going to make a Deadpool 3, and it's going to be part of the MCU. But I don't know how that works.
He could just acknowledge it and be fine.
That would be great, actually.
So yeah, at the end of this supersized special, Kyle liked the movie. I didn't, but we talked about it. Now we don't have to talk about it again. And don't restore the Snyderverse. That's stupid.
No, this whole thing now that they're like release the air cut of Suicide Squad. I'm going in a few months. We're getting James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Like, let's just enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I want to put a caveat on I liked this movie. I will watch it again. I enjoyed enough aspects that at some point, because it's 4 hours, I'm not going to watch this a lot of times, but at some point I will watch this again. And I did enjoy it. But yeah, I want something better. So
Hmm.
that's my caveat. I liked this, but we deserve so much better from the Justice League. I will admit that.
Hmm.
So, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that we left out, but I'm sure you can find plenty of people, plenty of other nerds talking about this movie online.
Yep. Until then, I'm Mr. Miracle and Kyle is Big Barda.
Until then, and brightest day and darkest night, give me my goddamn Green Lantern and do it
I
right.
want a good Green Lantern movie. We only got one of those.
And was it
Give
good?
me Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner. I don't care.
Uh, okay. You could. Oh, we got to get the rest out of the way. You can find us at Twitter, AwesomeKM.
And I'm at Noah_Saturn. That is spelled Satern.
And we're on Instagram at We Don't Know What to Watch. Email us at we don't know to watch at gmail.com. Let us know what you thought of this movie. And follow, subscribe, all that stuff.
And for the love of goodness, make Superman smile.
And for the love of goodness, actually make the second Shazam movie, because that's the best DC movie.
Yeah. I want to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson fight a bunch of kids.
Yes.
All right. I think we've yammered on enough.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.